All right, what's up, guys? It's Mr. Fabella. We're gonna round out this last chapter, this last lesson for chapter 5 for rate conversions. We're gonna not go super fast. We're not gonna get super into it to do like very complex rate conversions. I might show you an example at the end, but we're gonna keep it kind of simple for now. Okay, so with rate conversions, I want you to think, the essential question here is how can you compare lengths between the customary and metric systems? Okay, before I even go to that, let's talk about what customary versus metric actually means. So I think in the United States, we're used to US customary measures. So we're talking about inch. So we're talking about inches. So customary, we're talking about inches. We're talking about the foot, right? We're talking about yard, mile, and that's for length, right? For mass, we're talking about ounces. We're talking about an ounce, a pound, and a ton. And like for capacity, like to fill things up, we have a cup, pint, quart, and a gallon. Okay, so that's customary. And then metric, it's a little more simple by a lot. So with length, we'll talk about the millimeter. We talk about centimeter. We got the kilometer. As you can see, all of these have meter at the end. With weight, like instead of ounces and stuff, you have a gram, you have a kilogram. Those are the common ones. And then for volume, like instead of cups, quarts, gallons, you have milliliter and you have liters. So as you can see, metric is, way more simple than customary, but those are the two different ones. So how can you compare the lengths between the customary and metric systems? Because right here you see that's 6 feet, that's 1 yard. That's fine because 6 feet, you know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So you can see, well, 6 feet is longer than 1 yard because 6 feet would actually be 2 yards. Let's talk about like the history and where these words came from with the customary ones, so where we can do this. So an inch is about the width of a human thumb. The foot is about the length of a human foot. A yard is about the distance from a human's nose to the end of an outstretched human arm. So from here to here, so that's about 3 feet. And a mile is the pace a human can walk in 1,000 paces. So basically 1 pace would be 2 steps. So that's about what a mile is. That's the origins. So you should know how to convert measures within customary and metric systems. You've done this before, but to remind you, so equivalent between customary lengths, 1 foot equals 12 inches, 1 yard equals 3 feet, and 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. That last one, it takes a while, but people end up memorizing that as well. That's a tough one. For metric, it's way easier. 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So milli, 1,000, centi, 100. And 1 kilometer or kilometer is 1,000 meters. So kilo also is going to be 1,000. Okay, so you're going to learn between how to convert between 2 systems. So this is you already know how to convert, like, 2 yards is how many feet? 6 feet, right? So we're gonna do between the 2 different systems. Here you have to know what the conversion is. So 1 inch is actually about 2.54 centimeters. And 1 mile, so it actually is equal to 2.54 centimeters. 1 mile is approximately, so you can see this symbol right here, is approximately 1.61 kilometers. So it's not exact, but about that much. So that's when we're converting, we're going to use those figures. We're going to use these 2 things when we're converting between inches and centimeters and miles and kilometers. So let's check this out. Change the units of the rate by multiplying by a magic 1. Write your answer as a unit rate. So that's exactly what we're talking about. So unit rate. So unit rate is something that equals 1. Okay? Well, with 1 on the bottom. And in this case, it might be on the top. So magic 1 means if you make it a fraction, it equals 1. So as you can see here, the example given, 1 hour is equal to 1 hour over 60 minutes. So if I have 1 hour over 60 minutes, if I change one of these, if I change hours to minutes, that's actually 60 minutes over 60 minutes, and that's 1. That's what a magic 1 is, because if you have 60 minutes over 60 minutes, you have 1. And we want to find the magic 1 because if you multiply anything times 1, it stays the same. And that's the goal. We're converting. We're not changing anything. We don't want to make anything different. We want to keep it the same. So in this case, for B, let's check out B, $3 per minute. And I want to change minutes on the bottom to hours on the bottom. So what can I do to change that? So I do know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, right? So I'm gonna do times 60. I'm gonna change the color of this so it's easier to see. I'm gonna say 60 minutes are in 1 hour. And I'll just put H because that's what they used, 1 hour. And if you might be thinking, wait, they did 1 hour over 60 minutes here. Why are you doing 60 minutes over 1 hour there? Well, that's because on the bottom is minutes and I want to change that to hours. That's one reason. And the second reason is because we're going to use something in science, they call it dimensional analysis, and they'll call this that in 7th grade as well. But I want to cancel out my units. I want to cancel out minutes on the bottom, minutes on top, so the minutes will cancel, and all I'm left with is dollars on the top and hours on the bottom. So now if I multiply this out, I'm going to just have 3 times 60, which is 90, and then dollars, because dollars on top. There's no minutes anymore. I crossed out the minutes. So $90 per hour. And if you think about that, so if it's $3 per minute, so that means, so for 2 minutes, it's $6. For 3 minutes, it's $9. You're basically multiplying by how many minutes. So 3 times 60, that makes sense for 90 minutes. All right, let's do a couple more here. 12 inches per foot. And then I want to change this to yards. So how many yards? So I want yards on the bottom. So I'm going to make my magic 1. So I'm going to say yards is on the bottom. How many, and I want feet on the top because I want to cancel out the feet. I want to cancel out the feet on the bottom. So there's 3 feet in 1 yard. And you can see that I can cancel feet here and feet here. And then now all I need to do is multiply. 12 times 3 is 36, and there are 36 inches in 1 yard, 36 inches per yard. All right, and then just to finish it off for a good measure, 2 feet in, per week. And then feet stay the same, but I want to change weeks to years. So I'm going to put weeks on the top because I want to cancel out the weeks, and I'll put year on the bottom. So maybe some people don't know this, but in 1 year, there are 52 weeks. Well, we're just going to estimate 52 weeks in 1 year. So that means if I can cross cancel, the weeks cancel, and then I just do 2 times 52. So that's 104 feet per year because I'm left with feet on top and years on the bottom, and there's no more weeks. Okay, perfect. So moving on. So measurements. The US customary system is a system of measurement that contains units for length, capacity, and weight. Same for the metric system. It's actually a decimal system measurement based on powers of 10. That's why centimeters, 100, millimeters, 1,000 of those in 1 meter. Kilometers, there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. To convert from one unit of measure to another, multiply by 1 or more conversion factors. That's what we were just doing up top. 12 inches to 1 foot, that's a conversion factor. Okay, conversion factor can be written using fraction notation. That's what we did up here, where we made our magic ones. So conversion factor is a rate that equals 1, like I showed here. For an example, 1 meter is approximately, this means approximately 3.28 feet. So I can make that into a fraction, 1 meter over 3.28 feet, or 3.28 feet over 1 meter. It doesn't matter because those both equal 1. So it just depends which fraction you use to convert your measurement. And then here it says you can use unit analysis. Some people call it dimensional analysis. And if you look up dimensional analysis, that's probably what will show up more because that's what they call it more often than unit analysis. So let's check out this example here. It says convert 36 quarts to gallons. So first, if this comes up, it should tell you how many quarts there are in a gallon. If you don't know, then you can look it up. It would be in the book, or if you're doing this online, just look it up online how many quarts are in a gallon. But if in case you didn't know, put this here, in case you didn't know, 1 quart equals 0.25 gallons. Or you could also say that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Doesn't matter which one you use. Those are both the same. And you'll see why it can fit no matter what. So you're going to say 36 quarts, right? So I'm going to say I have 36 quarts and I want to multiply this by some kind of conversion factor to equal gallons. So how can I do this? Well, I can, maybe I'll use this one because I don't want to mess with a decimal. So 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Okay, so I'm going to put quarts on the bottom because I want that to cancel out. And then so 1 gallon here. So as you can see, I can cancel out my quarts. And then if I multiply this out, this is over 1, I have 36 over 4. Okay, so I have 36 over 4. That's going to give me 9. So I have 9 gallons because all I'm left with is gallons. I was able to cancel out the quarts. Let's do the next one. Why not? Centimeters, inches. So you also know, or it should show, that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So if you want to convert 20 centimeters to inches, unless this comes to you right away and like, oh, I totally know how to do this, this is the best way to do it. You would go, okay, 20 centimeters times something equals how many inches. So you're gonna have your magic 1, and you're gonna use this as a fraction, and it's just a matter of which goes on top. So 2.54 centimeters should go on the bottom, and 1 inch will go on the top, because I know it should go on the top because it matches right there, and also because I can cancel my centimeters. So I'm gonna move this up here. Oops. Okay, so now if I'm multiplying across, I have 20 over 2.54. And so now all I need to do is multiply, and then that leaves me with 7.87, and then I was looking for inches, so inches. So this is gonna be approximately, because I rounded a little bit. Okay, last example here. How many liters does a human heart pump per minute? So right here, it says it pumps 5 quarts of blood per 1 minute. Per minute means per 1 minute, right? So now it wants you to say how many liters. So now I have to figure out how many liters are in a quart. Okay, so if you did not know, it's 0.95 liters is equal to 1 quart. Now I can make my magic 1 here. I still want it per minute. I still want to know how much per minute. So I'm going to put 1 minute on the bottom, and see on the bottom stays the same. I don't have to change anything. Great. And now it says how many liters. So I'm going to put liters on top. So now I'm going to have my magic 1. And so since quarts is on top, I'm going to put quarts on the bottom. 1 quart is equal to this, 0.95 liters. And that works because I can cross cancel or cross out my quarts there. So now all I need to do is multiply 5 times 0.95, and that equals 4.75 liters. So the human heart pumps 5 quarts of blood per minute, or you can say it pumps out 4.75 liters of blood per minute. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. I didn't go over the crazy stuff where you're doing rates, like 60 miles per hour, convert that to, feet per second. That's a long one. You'll definitely be doing that in other classes, or I might show it in class later on. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful for more simple conversions, and hopefully that makes sense. All right, see you guys later.